Hello and welcome to Beyond the Deals podcast with your host, Gabrielle Simmons. I am here today with our sponsor of this episode and a very special guest and a exceptional company. But here today speaking with us is Dale Dixon with the Better Business Bureau. Thank you, Dale, for being here.
Hello. Great to be with you.
Yes. And so right now we're virtual. And you guys know we typically like to do our podcast in person, but thanks to logistics, we're doing this one virtually. But Dale is going to be in person here with us for an event we're having this week. While this podcast will be dropped a little bit later. Hopefully, by the time you guys are watching this, you had a chance to come out and meet Dale in person and learn more about the things that we're sharing with you today. But without further ado, Dale, tell us who you are with the Better Business Bureau. What is your position, and why are you here speaking with us today?
I'm the boring part. I'll hold off. So my name is Dale Dixon. Better Business Bureau. There's something we just need to get better at telling our story, because people hear BBB and they have all kinds of ideas. But Better Business Bureau started inside of Coca-Cola all the way back in 1912, when Coca-Cola was being hammered for the way it advertised. And Congress was looking into it. People didn't trust the brand. And the head of advertising said, we've got to do something different, or we're going to lose this powerful communication tool of advertising. And so he got together with a group of his colleagues at big brands around the country and said, here's the deal. We're losing credibility. We're losing trust. What can we do to change? Somebody had a light bulb moment. What if we would self-regulate to a set of standards and set up an outside third party to hold us accountable to those standards?
Wow.
That's what Better Business Bureau is today. We're an accountability partner for business, by business, to help business be better and earn the trust of their customers. Because it's one thing, I can go to you, Gabrielle, and I can say, trust me. Mm-hmm. I'm on your podcast. I'm here. You can trust me. It's a whole different thing to say, Gabrielle, you can trust me. Here are the reasons why. Mm-hmm. I live to a set of standards to tell the truth, be honest in my advertising, to be responsive to you, to act with integrity, to honor the promises that I make to you. And I'm held accountable by an independent third party, the Better Business Bureau, which is a business community. So that's why I'm passionate about BBB and what it does to help businesses ramp up growth. I've been with Better Business Bureau since 2007. So my title is Chief Innovation Officer. People are like, what does that mean? Innovation is really simple. I think we're all doing it in business. I just put a name to it. Innovation is adding value. So inside of BBB, it's any number of things, and it's different every day. How do I add value to my coworkers and what we're doing, making systems better, making improvements along the way, doing something radically different as far as the way we operate internally. Externally, it's all of the conversations we have with BBB accredited businesses on how do we drive more value for you and your membership with Better Business Bureau. And then why am I here with you today, Gabrielle? It's because there's a lot in common with Dealmakers, and you're looking to build trust in a community. We are a trust builder in a community, and we saw a lot of opportunities that we're going to explore together to create a partnership. And so we're super excited about that with BBB. BBB is who I am and why I'm here.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And the key thing that I take away from that is like being an accountability partner, right? So you see the BBB seal all over the place, really. But I think it's super important that people understand that it's not just a badge. It's not just a stamp of, hey, I'm a part of this community and you can find me within this online directory, but it really is an establishment that holds people accountable to what they say they're going to do, how they're going to operate, and show up for their customers. And as mentioned, that's Real Estate Dealmakers. That's what we're all about. We're all about trust and integrity, and that's why we come here in person. We build real live relationships, and we look to only work with people who operate from a place of integrity. And having the BBB behind us and behind our members just adds a whole nother layer. And additionally, I would love to hear you speak to like what are the biggest ways that the members of our community, the real estate deal makers, how can they best leverage the BBB relationship to, increase their visibility and trust within the community?
Mm. So from a leverage perspective, a few things. The first and foremost, I would encourage people to know, understand, and be able to communicate those standards that I went over. I use this all the time. Um, it's this little circle, and these are the standards. So
Mm.
you can draw the circle. And what I'm thinking that to get the most out of this is look at these standards and ask yourself, as a business, how am I living this standard out? And this is actually like a scorecard you can create for yourself and look for areas of improvement
Mm.
when you grade yourself in each of these areas of how I'm doing. So the first step would be, it has to be real. It has to be genuine. It has to be authentic. It can't just be, oh, well, I've got a BBB torch symbol on my business and that takes care of it all. No, we've got to live it out. We've got to live these things out. So, I always encourage people to think about that word integrity. What's your personal definition and how do you live it out day in and day out? And
Right.
then be ready to tell stories to potential customers and to other people in the community on here's what integrity means to me and live it out. Um, I'm building trust. I think one of the fantastic things is combination of things. So number one, I have this thing called the ABCs of doing good business, and it's really all encapsulated here with the work that you're doing. So the ABCs is an association so that you are up to speed on what's going on in your industry.
Mm.
Real estate deal makers is all about putting together and keeping people up to speed. It's for the real estate industry. No matter where you're playing in that industry, there
Right.
is a fantastic opportunity for you. Um, the second is B, that's Better Business Bureau. It's how you do business. It's these standards. And then and so we're encouraging people to, and then the C aspect is the local aspect. And
Mm.
you
Community.
talked about the local aspect, but the concept there is that you want to have those standards in place for doing good business. And as you are living these things out and you can tell the story of here's how I'm living out these standards in my business, and then you can say I'm actually held accountable. So I'm held
Mhm.
accountable by the BBB in this case, and I'm associated with real estate deal makers in a
Mhm.
community of people who are living this out as well, and we're building trust. So that leads me to the next piece of this puzzle, and that's the trust building aspect. A group of Harvard researchers said, "What is trust really?" I mean, it sounds like a squishy word, but it's really tangible. It's something we can all put our hands around. They
Mm.
found three things. Number one, and it's once again, it's what we're all about here. So number one is people who build trust are working on positive relationships. So you
Yeah.
think about the network that you're creating in real estate deal makers and the positive relationships that are coming out of that. It's fantastic. The second piece is they're working on their expertise. Once again, you'll see all of this fits together like gears in a gearbox. They're working on their expertise, getting better. So we're getting better at the real estate game all the time. How are we doing that? How are we structuring the deals? How are we incorporating the standards from Better Business Bureaus to get better from an expert position? So we're building good relationships. We're building our expertise. And then the other thing that I love about, and you can read it as I look at the Real Estate Dealmakers website, we're looking for consistency. It's not
Mhm.
just one and done. It's like your last deal says how you're going to do your next deal. And
Right.
how does the consistency play out over time? And when we get those three pieces in place, when we're building good relationships, we're working on making our expertise better day in and day out. Am I better today than I was yesterday? And then I am being consistent in everything I do, which is my personal definition of integrity,
Mm.
consistency, whether you see it or not. That's trust building. And that's what we're all about. I think that's what you're about. And Real Estate Dealmakers, that's what we're about at Better Business Bureau, is building trust. And it's that
Yeah.
synergy of all those things at once. And I just threw a ton at you. I get excited about this. I hope
I see.
it's not
I
too
love that.
overwhelming. But I
No.
get excited about this because it makes us better at business. And when we're better at business this way, it attracts better customers, and we really make a good name for business. There are a
Yes.
few bad businesses out there. They get all the publicity, they get all the attention, and it makes me mad. I
Mhm.
want good guys to get the attention. And when we're doing good work, you name the industry, when we're doing good work and treating our customers well, we're living to standards, we're working to be trustworthy, it makes it better for everybody. And that's what we're about.
Agreed. I love it. And so that's, I mean, we didn't formally mention it, but I guess we could really spell it out that this is why the Better Business Bureau has decided to launch this brand new and first of its kind collaboration with us, Real Estate Dealmakers, and our sister company, Contractors of Colorado, for this collaboration where we're bringing our communities and the companies that we trust and we vet. You know, we're already building that level of trust, bringing them together with the Better Business Bureau just to create an added layer. And so we'll be speaking to that more, this week. But I'm super excited for our opportunity to work together and the benefits that all of our members get to take advantage of from our community and the Better Business Bureau. Could you speak to a couple of like what those benefits are when people come and get accredited?
And yeah, absolutely. So that's our agreement together and how we're working together. It's a two piece. So we're going to be providing vetting. We have a whole vetting engine that works in the background where we're always looking at business. We have a whole team. We're looking at businesses. How are they operating in the marketplace? How are they building trust? Are they doing what they say they're going to do? It's that accountability piece. We're bringing that infrastructure to this agreement between us and to the partnership. And then the second piece is the joint membership. So when a business goes through this in-depth vetting, we call the result when they agree to join us an accreditation, because they've signed an agreement saying they're going to uphold the standards and be held accountable to those standards.
Mm-hmm.
So what the benefits are, and that best way to use it, to your question, is to fully understand what that means so that you can have that conversation, because transparency is one of the key standards that we ask businesses to live by. And when you go into a deal and you are transparent, here's how we do these things, here's here's how we are working to tell the truth and everything. Here's how we have worked to simplify the contract, and everything is open. And put a bookmark. I've got some stories about this in the real estate business for later on in the conversation. But when we work to be transparent, and you can tell that to your customer across the table, or before you sign the deal, or before you shake hands on a deal, when you're able to explain that, that's where the benefit really comes. That's where it hits the road, and it becomes the oil in that engine to make things run smoothly and to go fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's where trust really comes into play, is it helps you go fast. Stephen Covey wrote about it brilliantly in his book about trust. But when you look at the foundation of trust, it helps things go fast. So use it to help your deals go fast. Number one, by being transparent. We have a number of tools, education, training. I just completed, provided a webinar for our members just last week, giving them 5 ways to think about marketing and how to incorporate all of this into their marketing toolbox so that they are actively out. Number one, using a tool that we offer at Better Business Bureau to help manage reviews and to be looking at their online reputation. Because when
So
somebody's
important.
thinking about doing business with you, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go do a search.
Right.
And does everything line up? So we've got some tools that run in the background that help you go out and actually look at your reputation. What does it look like in the marketplace? And then identify some areas that you can work to get consistency when it comes
Mhm.
to your reputation online. So there's the education aspect. There's the actual brand. That BBB torch symbol is one of the most recognized brands um, in North America.
Yeah.
Leverage it. It helps close deals. It helps with conversion rates. The data shows it over and over again. And then one of the interesting things is we enter this world of AI, and I'm going to start to talk way over my skis on this. I've got just the top line, but when we look at artificial intelligence and the impact that it's having as people use the internet and go and search for things, it used to be that people would go to Google, type in what they were searching for, and then get a list of links that they could go and click on. Now people are going and they're using AI engines. It could be chat, it could be Perplexity, it could be just using Google because Google's starting to build it into search, and they get an AI generated summary that
Right.
answers the question. So when they say, I'm looking for a real estate agent, help me find some of these things, it could be just a summary that that person's getting. And we're watching clicks on links tank
Mm.
when it comes to search results. So what's interesting is that there's something that's feeding the summary that you're reading
Right.
in AI. And because of how robust Better Business Bureau is and how we are accumulating information on businesses, curating that, vetting it, and it's all based on this idea of trust, our information is showing up higher in the AI search results than anybody else.
That's
Those numbers
huge.
are from research, third-party research outside of us, as recent as August 29th of 2025. So there's some significant things there. Leverage, the best thing that your members can do is to leverage that BBB accreditation. And
Yeah.
you do that by being able to tell a customer that we follow a set of standards. We're held accountable to those set of standards. We're part of a community that believes in those standards. And here's what it looks like day to day. Here's how I'm being transparent. Here's how we're working to get that pricing transparency. Here's how we're working to get the contractual transparency,
Mm.
to break it down and make it as simple as possible. And we're held accountable to that. So being able to tell that story, super important.
Hmm. Resources and education that you guys offer, that is actually something that I was really blown away by as I've been working with you guys and learning more, is just how many resources are really available within the portal and the education, because that's huge. That's not just being held accountable. Now there's a whole nother level of how you're helping these businesses grow, learn, expand, and maybe adjust to some of the things that they haven't been doing correctly that could potentially earn them, a lower score. But now you guys are offering ways for them to implement new ways to keep their business highly rated. So I think that's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah. We want to see a business win, and we want to see a business win by doing it the right way. And so
Mhm.
those tools, they're there, they're available through the portal. We've got an entire team, that's behind this camera that's ready to help businesses succeed as well. And you're going to
Right.
meet some of them,
Yeah.
or we'll have met some of them in um, there in Lone Tree.
Yeah. And so let's talk about the fun part, right? So part of owning a business and dealing with customers and clients of all kinds, sometimes disputes arise. What does the Better Business Bureau do to help its members, its accredited members, in those instances?
So that's one thing. I started by saying Better Business Bureau needs to get better at telling its story. And this is one area where it's a real benefit, because a business owner hears a customer say, well, I'm going to go file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. And that
Mhm.
has a bit of a negative connotation. We've worked really hard with business owners to turn that into a positive, that it's actually a golden nugget for you, the business owner, when that complaint comes in, because it's an opportunity to showcase and to invite in a partner who wants to help on the customer service side.
Mhm.
So, yes, every transaction is really communication. You have you have two parties who are working to an end goal, and that end goal is beneficial for both parties. It's all about communication all the way through. We are human beings. I mean, I'm married. My wife will tell you that I have so much to learn on the communication part. And so as healing beings, we're always working through this communication process, and it can be messy sometimes. And sometimes there's a breakdown in communication. None of us are perfect. Nobody expects us to be perfect on the communication front. So understanding that as the baseline, Better Business Bureau has a number of tools to help facilitate reopening communication when there is a breakdown. So I like to say our tools from Better Business Bureau help build the bridges, rebuild the bridges, help tear down the fences, and get people talking to one another again in a positive, productive way. That's a really good opportunity and a good way to frame it. I want to frame that idea of complaints when something goes wrong, because oftentimes complaint's a negative word. It just has a negative connotation, and it can be seen that way from both parties. But I want to take a look at it, like change the paradigm and look at the paradox that it's an opportunity.
Yeah,
it's a growth mindset.
We can call it feedback instead of a complaint.
It's feedback. Here's an opportunity where there was a breakdown in communication. I can fix that for the next time and keep it from happening again if I take a step back and learn from this. And then I've got some help from a very structured, neutral party, the Better Business Bureau, who's going to help reopen those lines of communication. So we've got those tools in place. It's a 3-step process that we offer a business. The first is we ask, both parties, each party, to tell us the story. Tell us the story from your perspective. Tell us the story from your perspective. And then we present that and say, okay, here's the position that each party's coming from. Is there an opportunity for us to find some common ground in this? And I'll pause right there and say, this is a really good opportunity to start to utilize some of the AI tools that are out there to say, how do I remove the emotion from telling this story? And because we're emotionally triggered, the business owner and who's receiving is like, I've poured my blood, sweat, and tears into building this business, whatever the business is. And it feels like we're being attacked. It feels like when somebody files a complaint, they're calling our child ugly. Plain and simple. I mean, that's the emotional response. So it's like, how can I step away from that and start to say, oh, okay, this is an opportunity. This is feedback. This is an opportunity for me to step back and say, and we don't have to accept and implement all feedback. Sometimes we can just say, thank you for the feedback. And we make a decision, is it helpful or not? But in the case of the complaint is, okay, I'm going to read through this. I'm going to work and do my best to step out of the emotional reaction. And we've got the tools in place to do that. Now, if we've got the two sides and that initial step doesn't work and the business says, oh, now I understand. Oftentimes 95% of the time we get the story out written in that format, and the two parties will say, oh, now I understand. I see where the breakdown in communication was. Here's, I'll point you back. The business can say, I'll point you back to the contract and what we promised and how we delivered, and that'll help the customer see, I missed that
the
part.
Storytelling, just through the process of having to share what happened. Then they kind of come to that conclusion a little bit on their own.
Or it could be the business will say, oh, I didn't realize we missed that part that we promised you. We're going to make it right. That conversation goes, and it's unique and different for every situation, but usually 95% of the time, this first step of dispute resolution takes care of it. If it doesn't, and the two sides are still butting heads saying, no, I'm right, you're wrong, then we have mediation. And mediation is where we will have a professional mediator come in and take those stories from both sides, look for the commonalities, and help facilitate the conversation through the process. That takes care of most of the of any kind of residual that's we're seeing on the dispute resolution side. But if mediation doesn't work, we do offer binding arbitration, and this is a massive benefit for a business. And we literally have businesses write this into the contract that we utilize Better Business Bureau for arbitration. And that if something goes wrong and we can't come to agreement, we both agree through this contract, we're going to use Better Business Bureau and their arbitration services, because what that does is it keeps you out of court.
Yeah.
And it keeps you away from having to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of hours, your time, which is a precious resource. And it drives it to this dispute resolution process that's tried and true. It's arbitration. And we do have a lot of businesses that write that right into that initial contract with their customer, saying, if anything goes wrong, part of agreeing to do business with me is you agree to arbitration through Better Business Bureau.
Yes, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge benefit, massive cost savings and
Yeah.
time savings for your business. So huge benefit.
And adds, a little bit of security, if you will, for a lot of people who are looking for this added layer of trust within the community and to position themselves in front of consumers. A lot of them are small businesses, and they, may have a little bit of, they may be a little leery about that specifically. Like, oh man, I don't know what to do if in the instance that somebody wants to file a complaint or try to sue me. And so just having this option, I think, also educates the businesses on what that process should look like. And then they can move forward with future issues and just know how to better address them without the fear that this could be the end of their business, or, this is going to result in some negative complaints that once it's submitted, there's nothing I can do. It's going to affect my rating, right? Like, there's so much that you guys offering that mediation and arbitration really helps kind of soothe some of those fears for the companies.
On this front, especially leaning into the positive aspect of feedback, a little nugget just for your viewers, your listeners to start implementing right away in your business is respond to every customer review you get. So at the end of every deal, you're going to make the request, hey, we've got a place for reviews. Hopefully that place for reviews is at Better Business Bureau. I'll tell you why it should be at Better Business Bureau soon. But ask for the review first and foremost. And then when you do get a review, positive or negative, always respond to it. A simple thank you. Thank you for the feedback. We're taking it into consideration. We hear you. We appreciate the positive feedback. We work hard every day to create a great experience and to have these deals go the way they go. But that response will help build your online reputation. And when you're doing it consistently. So super important to respond, be responsive, positive, negative, no matter what. When you get feedback online, in person, that kind of a response is huge.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. For sure. What else can you tell us? I mean, I know you're a wealth of knowledge in, it sounds like, business development as a whole, and especially what you guys are doing within BBB. But I'd love to hear anything more you want to share with us, and also get into who is Dale, and what got you into working with the BBB. I'd love to hear your personal story.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll close the gap and close the book on reviews. And I said BBB. So one thing about Better Business Bureau customer reviews, which you can encourage your clients to go and leave a review at BBB once you're here in the portal and your business profile is listed. Make sure that business profile is filled out, it's complete, you've added pictures, and it's robust. That's a big thing. But once the reason why we're asking you to point your customers to write reviews at bbb.org is that we run a 3-step verification process on every single review that's submitted. So we grab the IP address. We grab the IP address of the person writing the review so that we are eliminating the review farms. We're looking to build trust into the online review. So we know that there are online review farms that are just kicking out reviews. Like a business can go and buy 1,000 reviews from these farms, but one of the ways to weed those out is to capture the IP address and not allow more than one review to come from an IP address. The second thing is we validate the email address of the person writing the review. So they write the review, but we don't publish the review until they confirm that the email address is correct. And that can't be done just automatically. And the third piece is we're going to go to you, the business owner, and we're going to say, hey, you received this customer review, this person's name, this is the email address. Is this really your customer? And you tell us, yes, that's my customer, or no, that's not my customer. Never heard of that person.
Wow.
And then we've got some pieces built in to go and validate, validate that process. Trust but verify. So those three reasons why a Better Business Bureau review is trustworthy. We are working with some of the biggest names, Amazon, Capital One, as far as a brand, to help bring that level of trust and credibility to reviews across the board. Wow. So we're working with the biggest players in the space as well when it comes to reviews, and we're really encouraged and excited about that. So that's the reason why reviews, and why we're excited about the reviews that BBB offers, and excited to make that available as part of this relationship with you for your members as well, because getting access to those trustworthy components is so important as you build your business, you build your book of business, build a pipeline, to have those pieces in place that all point due north. This is what trust looks like. Here's how I'm building trust. I'm paying attention to the details all the way through. It's so important because customers are getting savvy. The AI is getting savvy on how to look for this stuff, and they want to see it in the way you're running your business, because when you pay attention to these details, it tells me you pay attention to other details where you're going to be working on my behalf.
Right. Yeah. And so funneling the customers to leaving reviews through the BBB sounds like it's way more beneficial for us, the businesses, as opposed to encouraging them to leave reviews elsewhere, because of that process that you guys do to ensure that they're true and valid reviews.
Absolutely correct. Yes.
Makes sense. So I mean, in all of our podcasts, we like to get more into the person, the company. We love what you guys are doing. We're super excited about this collaboration and everything that this is offering our community. But I'd love to learn more about you and your story, what got you into this position, and maybe we'll get a look at why you're so passionate, because it definitely shows.
So I am a farm kid and grew up here in the West. You'll find me in the mountains. I'm really into adventure motorcycling. So
nice.
Big deal in Colorado. I'm getting ready to.
What is adventure motorcycling?
So an adventure motorcycle is like a mix between a dirt bike, like a motocross motorcycle, so the knobby tires, and a motorcycle that go down the interstate or the highway. So you'll see these people, they're riding, they look like they're on an armadillo. The motorcycle sits very tall, like I can look into the window of a van. It sits up really high, so it has lots of ground clearance, and it's built to ride around the world. So I'll throw out, there's a series with Charlie Borman and Ewan McGregor. So Ewan McGregor's best known for his Star Wars character, and where they first rode around the world on adventure motorcycles. And then they rode, I think they've got a total of 4 series out you can watch. The most recent came out this year, where they rode through Europe on their adventure motorcycles. So
wow,
it's picked up some steam, and love to do it. So basically, if I'm on a dirt road that I've never been on before, climbing to the top of some mountain, I'm in a happy place on my motorcycle. It's a lot of fun. It's Colorado is like the place,
right,
to ride adventure motorcycles. So it's fantastic. That's the hobby. I'm married. We've got 2 kids. They're both adults. They're fully launched, 25-year-old son, 22-year-old daughter, and they're doing their things. Like I said, I came to Better Business Bureau in 2007, and it was I like to say it's a circuitous route. So I started off when I was in high school in radio,
Hmm.
and
Makes sense. I can hear it.
yeah, it starts to make sense. So as I started off in radio, I could see, well, I was like, I don't know that I can make enough money in radio to really have the family I want, live where I want. Uh, and I also didn't really think I just had that raw talent to be the next, well, now I'm going to really age myself, but I'm not going to be the next Casey Kasem.
Mm.
So so I knew that that wasn't the way. I thought, well, maybe television has better opportunity. So I got into television and did television news for over a decade, and worked around the country. And then I saw where television news was going, and I thought, yeah, I think it's time to get out. Went to work in the public information field for a little while, and then got into executive leadership with a few organizations, and was hired on with a small Better Business Bureau as CEO. And then through the process, grew that to be a Better Business Bureau that's responsible for the Denver metro, Colorado area, and then the entire Pacific Northwest and Hawaii and Alaska. So we've got a large footprint. Was super fortunate to get to work with an amazing executive team through that process. And I really love this idea of innovation in the space of serving the business community, serving consumers, helping people be better in this space of building trust. And
Mhm.
so wrote my job description around that. This Better Business Bureau, one of our claims to fame in the innovation space is we built what's called scam trackers. So we're
Hmm.
we're missionally driven as an organization to help people find businesses they can trust and to help those businesses be trustworthy. There's a component of that where we're calling out businesses that aren't trustworthy and
Mm.
helping people identify and know those businesses that are not trustworthy.
Oh, I
So
love
that's
that.
where this scam tracker tool comes into play. It was built out of this Better Business Bureau, launched throughout North America, and is responsible for generating more media attention on the BBB brand and through the BBB brand than anything else in the history of Better Business Bureau since it came on board back in 1912. So that's part of that evolutionary journey for me in the space. We do a lot of work around data and grabbing data, and like I tell you the story about AI and how Better Business Bureau is showing up higher in the AI search results. I think a lot of that has to do with how we're amassing information or data on businesses and making it useful for people to make good decisions about buying from a business or doing a deal with a business. So we're
Right.
excited about bringing that. So all of
Yeah.
that.
So your
I,
experience in radio and television and information that totally explains why you have such a passion for what you're doing here, because I mean communication in itself, right? Like that's the core of all of this, of running any business, of building any relationship, is communication. And so you have many years of building that out and becoming very well at being a communicator and helping the people who come to you guys expand in that too. That's super
yeah,
important. Yeah, the
it's been a lot
scam
of
tracker. I'm interested to have another conversation with you about that, because we've been thinking about ways to essentially let it be known, the scammers, the investors or the wholesalers, the individuals, but usually they have some sort of company, an LLC that they stand behind. How do we let that be known to the public that that these are people, these are investors, these are wholesalers that you don't want to work with, who are out here doing not so great things?
Scam Tracker is super easy. So the easiest way to find it would just be to do the Google search BBB Scam Tracker. It's going to take you straight to the page.
Okay.
Once you're there, you can do a deep dive search yourself. You can look at it by zip code and see where things are happening. So you could literally put real estate and look and see what types of scams are happening in a specific zip code or nationally or throughout North America. But then in order to use it, like when you find a business that's, hey, we're setting you up to invest, and all you have to do is give us $50,000, and we guarantee you we're going to 10x that investment. You see all the promises that just scream red flags. This is a scam.
Right.
Go ahead, go to Scam Tracker, and then you hit the file, report a scam, and give us as much detail about it. So URLs, if you see phone numbers. And then we've got an investigation team that sits in the back side of this, and they're going to go through and investigate that and all that information that you provide. And we're going to take a look. We run deep background checks. We have access to databases that will give us criminal background checks, things like that. So we're going to take a look at that level of information, do searches, connect the dots, find whoever's behind that, and then I'll call it a scheme until we know it's illegal and a scam. But we'll look at who's behind that scheme and tie them and look at court records, any kind of criminal records that they have, and we can put together a pretty robust timeline and tell the story of what's going on. So you report that suspicion through Scam Tracker. Go to Google, BBB, Scam Tracker's the search, click the link, report a scam, go through that process. It's that easy. And then once we get that in place, we report that out and you can grab that. So doing a search, go to bbb.org, do the search for, if you see one of these deals pop up that you're like, sounds too good to be true.
Right.
I'm going to do some research first. Do that research through BBB, and then through your networks, our combined networks, get that information out, share the link with folks in the network and let them know, hey, be careful. We're seeing this group advertise this in the real estate investing, it's the real estate investing education or the backing, and we know it's not going to play out the way they're promising. Get that link out and share it, because we rate businesses A to F, just like our high school report cards. You want to take home the A plus. You don't want anybody to see the F. Well, there are businesses that get F ratings, just like that report card, based on a set of very objective markers. And so those objective data points lead to that F rating. We share it very visibly, very publicly, and you can take that and share it with your network as well to really help people direct to the trustworthy businesses and run away from those businesses that are not trustworthy.
That's amazing. Yeah, I got a couple on the list
Great.
that I can search and see if they're already there. But yeah, that makes it easy for us to help our community further and just building out that awareness of who you want to avoid.
100%.
Yeah. So one more thing, like in talking about our collaboration and everything that you guys are bringing to the real estate Dealmakers community, for those who are tuning in, how would you describe the accreditation process? If somebody, our in-house vetting process is similar, but a little different than y'all. So how would you describe that accreditation process for you guys?
So it's going to start, my understanding is we're going to share some of that initial information with one another through the process, and it's going to be a joint membership. So they're going to go through your vetting, and then we have additional things that we look at. So we're going to look at the owner of the company and take a look at what does the background look like. We have a whole list, and we have a vetting team that's going to go through these. And so there will be some additional questions that will be asked of the business and a form that you're going to fill out online to provide this information. And then we're working really hard to get the window between the time that your member fills out this form and the time that we come back and say, you qualify for accreditation, or you don't qualify for accreditation, but here are the 2 or 3 things that we need to see you do in order to qualify. We 100% want to work with businesses that have a genuine interest in building trust and doing things the right way, because it's we want to do right because it's the right thing to do. We want to work with those businesses and help them. There are so many rules, regulations out there. It's hard for a business to stay on top of all of them. Our training will find where a business isn't staying on top of those, and we'll highlight that for the business. When we see the business make the adjustments, say, oh my gosh, I had no idea, we realize that it's almost impossible to stay on top of all the regulatory requirements. So licensing requirements, all of that, we'll point that out. When the business fixes it, then you're going to get that response from Better Business Bureau saying you are officially accredited, and we'll provide you all of those materials, everything you need to talk about it, to understand it. The team's in place to help you through that. We're going to walk you through that through this joint membership with Real Estate Dealmakers, and make it as simple as possible. But it's really here to help your business be the best it can be, so that you are attracting and keeping the best customers.
Yep. Absolutely. And like you said, we're working to get that time frame shortened, so it's not too extensive between when they sign up, they're ready to get verified and apply for accreditation, to when they finally get an answer as to whether they're able to or need to add some things.
It might be a few days. We're working to get it definitely under 48 hours. Hopefully within a day, you start to see answers. That team is working hard all the time.
Yeah. Well, I am so excited again about this collaboration. Real quick, what I know there's multiple things, but would you say there's a thing? What really helped you guys see the purpose and the benefits to this collaboration and creating this new strategic partnership with our company and companies like us?
We saw this beautiful alignment around one word, and that is trust. When I saw on your website, and you talk about what you're all about, and what really matters is that you want to help build trust and help this community of over 60,000 real estate professionals help them do the right thing. Consistent and reliable deal making. So as I talked about what trust is, it's like consistency is one of those key things. So you were laying out the ingredients for trust as you talk about what you want to deliver for your members and your community. And that perfectly aligns with what Better Business Bureau is providing and how we're being that accountability partner in the business community. It's this beautiful alignment between our two organizations to help build trust, raise the tide for everybody, and help everybody succeed.
Yes. Perfectly said. And I didn't know when I was creating that video that was that was going to set the tone for this, but I'm so excited, and I know this is a huge value add for everybody who's in the community, both those who aren't members, those who don't operate companies, their customers, clients, consumers. This is a huge opportunity for them to have access to more trusted companies that are being held accountable to a high standard. And for these companies who are showing up here and shaking hands and really putting their best foot forward to build their businesses that they do put their blood, sweat, and tears into. So I'm very honored that you guys have decided to build this with us, and I look forward to our event this week. Look forward to seeing you in person and everything we're going to do together.
100%. Yeah, great point. As you're out shopping and looking for things, look for that BBB accredited business deal. I hope we've created what we call a reticular activating moment for you. You're going to go out today and you're going to see it in a variety of places around.
Is that what it's called when you never notice the white Honda until you buy one, and then now okay, that's what it.
You just hit it
everywhere.
I just went and I bought a unique car. I bought and you pull out of the dealership and you're at a stoplight and you look, and this literally happened to us. Bought my wife's car. I thought, oh, that's pretty unique. No, we literally pulled out to an intersection, and at every entry point into the intersection, her exact car was parked there. That's particular activation. Yeah, it's crazy. But hopefully you hear this, watch this, and you go out and you see BBB all over the place.
Yes, I'm sure they will. Well, thank you so much, Dale. And we'll be seeing you soon. You guys will see more of Dale and the BBB across everything that we're doing with Real Estate Dealmakers. So Dale, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, how might they do so?
I'd love to hear from you. So I'll give you my cell number, 208-908-3676. I usually don't, I'll be honest, I don't answer calls when I don't have that person in my contact list, but leave a voicemail, send me a text. Happy to respond that way. Email, super easy. My first name dot last name. So it's Dale, D-A-L-E dot Dixon, D-I-X-O-N at thebbb.org. I'm happy to respond that way as well. But yeah, we're here to help your members get the most out of the joint membership between Real Estate Dealmakers and Better Business Bureau. So reach out if there's anything we can do to help with that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That does it for our episode today, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Deals podcast. Until next time.